7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13.
Golden Opportunities is paid for by Elder Productions.
Hello, I'm Lori Steiner. Welcome to Golden Opportunities.
Today, we'll offer ways to better your body to enhance your health. Then, the 40th Annual Cleveland International Film Festival is ready to step into the spotlight. We'll preview movies that are sure to move us. Spring is here. We'll share ways to make your smile blossom. Plus, we'll explore the vision behind a volunteering program for older adults. And we'll help you be a pro at avoiding cons sent to scam seniors.
It's time to get geoing, so pull up a chair and join us at our kitchen table for Golden Opportunities. We know time seems to fly and the world just keeps moving, it starts moving faster. But our hearts aren't supposed to speed up to keep up. A very fast heartbeat is a heavy-handed hint that your heart needs help. Dr. Mohammed Hajiri is here to define this disease. Dr. Hajiri is with the Heart and Vascular Center and is a cardiologist at Metro Health.
Correct.
So welcome to the show again.
Thank you very much.
We're talking about atrial fibrillation.
Correct.
So can you tell me what is it that causes the heart to go so hyper?
So atrial fibrillation is an imbalance in the electricity of the heart, where the heart becomes very fast. And this happens in one of the chambers of the heart. It's called the left atrium. And what happens is that this electrical imbalance that discharges very, very fast the patient starts feeling that their heart is palpitations. Sometimes this very fast heart rate can make patients can come in and out, and then can make patients pass out. And it's very common in the elderly.
Okay, so if this is common in the elderly, how do we prevent it?
So the problem with atrial fibrillation is that apart from the symptoms that the patients start having, it can cause strokes. So when we manage atrial fibrillation, it's very important to prevent the strokes. In the left atrium that I mentioned, there's a small appendage. It's a little pouch that we call it the appendage. And this little pouch, what happens was that in the heart, when it goes so fast, instead of contracting like this, it's contracting like this. So the blood becomes static. It becomes slow in this pouch. And whenever the blood becomes slow, it tends to clot and form little tiny clots. Now, this pouch can sometimes, this little clot, if it's formed here, can go through the blood and then go to the brain and cause a stroke. And can sometimes go to the rest of the body and cause other problems. So the main thing about preventing it's basically trying to prevent strokes is very, very important in atrial fibrillation.
So how do you do that? Blood thinners?
Correct. So one of the ways to prevent strokes is to start the patients on blood thinners. And the most common blood thinner that we have been using for many years is warfarin. And what warfarin really is actually rat poison that got modified, and we made it in doses that fits the humans. And it makes the blood thinner from its name, a blood thinner. There are newer anticoagulants, like
so
warfarin.
There's other options.
There are other options. These include Xarelto, apixaban, and other of the newer medications that the patients can take, and can make their blood thin to try to prevent strokes.
Okay, what if the medication doesn't work?
So that's very important. The blood thinners, when let's say they don't work, especially in the case of warfarin, sometimes it is very difficult to give the patient the exact dose that works for their body. And we usually check that with something called INR. So if the INR, their level in the blood, if this is too high, it can give them bleeding. If it's too low, then that doesn't work. So sometimes we have to use other options that we have in order to prevent patients from getting clots in the appendage.
So one, I think you said, was the paddles, kind of shocking the heart back into.
So that is. So these are one of the treatment options we have, but this is for atrial fibrillation. When patients are feeling it, then we can shock them and put them into sinus. But this does not prevent strokes. This is not for the anticoagulation portion. This is to get the patients out of their bad rhythm, this atrial fibrillation, back into sinus. Now, I just want to stress that patients, when they do get shocked and back into sinus, that doesn't mean they can't take anticoagulations. They have to take anticoagulation. Anyway. And this is measured according to something called JADS-FASC. It's a score that we do, and it depends on how many risk factors the patients have. If they're diabetic, if they have heart failure, if they're female, if they're above 65 or 75, and or if they have peripheral vascular disease. All of these can add points, and if the patient has a high score, then they have to be on anticoagulation forever.
So it's really a complicated process.
It's a very complicated process.
And the bad news is, as we age, the possibility of developing atrial fibrillation increases. The good news is that there are many medications and procedures to manage it. My thanks to Dr. Hajiri for sharing some of the options with us today.
Right. So now,
To learn more, call Metro Health at 216-778-7800 or visit their website, www.metrohealth.org. Next, movies for film fans. But first, many find it funny that Easter is celebrated with a bunny. So how did this hare happen to hop its way into our holiday habits? We'll get to the end of this bunny trail and finish this bunny tale when we return.
Hilltop Village Apartments is retirement living at its best. Residents enjoy a wide variety of activities and living services with all large first-floor apartments, private screened-in patios with beautiful park views, daily dining room meals, free laundry facilities, 24-hour staff, and so much more. Enjoy safe, comfortable independence at a very affordable price. Call today for a tour and learn how you can get your first month's rent free. Hilltop Village Apartments, retirement living at its best.
Some say the rascally rabbit known as the Easter Bunny was brought here by German immigrants. They transported their tradition of a hare who happened to lay colored eggs, along with their habit of children making nests to hold his multicolored creations. Since then, others have added sweet treats of candy and gifts to make for a happy Easter morning.
It's been 40 years in the making, the 40th annual Cleveland International Film Festival. And the movies begin their magic this Wednesday, March 30th. Patrick Shepard is here to preview some of the upcoming attractions. Patrick is the Associate Director of the festival. Welcome back to the show. So we're talking about 40 years in the making. So are you doing something special this year?
Oh, we're very excited. And most of what we're doing leading up to the festival has a lot to do with social media and celebrating our first 39 years. In fact, if you see our poster or the cover of the program guide, you'll see our tagline, which is "Welcome Home, Celebrating 40 Years of Films." And we've grabbed little images from the first 39 campaigns and compiled it all into one place. So we're very excited about that.
All right. So you're going to have a party?
We are. You know, opening night is always one of the landmark events of the entire 12-day festival. We'll have Good Old Boy, which is a great American independent coming-of-age film. That'll screen on Wednesday night. We'll have a party after that. And then the big party really begins for the following 11 days. We'll have about 500 screenings. On any given day, there'll be about 45 screenings at Tower City Cinemas. Starts about 9:15, 9:20 in the morning and goes till midnight most nights, except for Fridays and Saturdays when we have late night screenings.
All right. And on the 31st, I guess you're having a special movie that's tied to Cleveland, right?
Yeah, this is going to be great. It's going to be our 40th anniversary signature event, and it's the world premiere of the ESPN 30 for 30 documentary film called Believe Land. And it's a salute to Cleveland sports, and it covers the glory years starting in the 40s and the 50s, and then it kind of takes you on all the milestones that you would anticipate. But it's really a loving tribute. You hear the voice of the fan throughout. Just so many great Cleveland sports legends in the film, and we're hoping to have some of them at the festival.
Oh, that would be great.
On Thursday. So it's one of those things where I almost don't believe it until I physically see them, but we're anticipating a great night at the Connor Palace at Playhouse Square this coming Thursday night.
And you mentioned that there's going to be so many films over the days there. So how can we plan to see what we want to see?
Yeah, there's different strategies to do that. Like sometimes people are just looking for a film from their country of ancestry. So you would go to the country list and find out what films are connected to your country. We do have sidebars and competitions. Sidebars and competitions kind of sort out the different types of films. So there's Jewish and Israeli vision films. There are family films. There's a documentary film competition. So it just depends on what type of films that you like. And documentaries are very popular at our festival.
And I understand you got some kind of a nod from the Academy Awards?
Yeah, it's the third time that it's happened. We are actually an Academy qualifying festival now for 3 short film awards. So what that means is the winners of the Best Animated, Best Documentary, and Best Live Action Short Films at this festival automatically are sent to the Academy, and they're put on a list for them to consider for nomination. So it doesn't mean an automatic nomination, but it does put it on the short list. And actually, at the Academy Awards in February, Bear Story was the winner of the Best Animated Short, and that was our winner last year. So
excellent.
Yeah.
So that's so exciting.
Yes.
There's so many films and there's so little time, so don't wait. The website coming up next is just the ticket to find your own film favorites. My thanks to Patrick for previewing the festival for us today. And we'll see him and you at the movies.
For more information, call the Cleveland International Film Festival at 216-623-FILM 3456 or click to www.clevelandfilm.org. Next, smile, it's spring. Looking for places to go, things to do? Welcome to our community calendar. Join a vital conversation at the City Club of Cleveland when the topic turns to re-entry, past, present, and future on March 31st from 7:30 to 9 a.m. Hear local leaders discuss the challenges of those with criminal records trying to find employment, as well as possible solutions, including training and other programs. To learn more, call 216-621-0082 or log on to www.cityclub.org.
Are you happy with your smile? When Martys Smile was asked that question, his answer was a big fat no. So he turned to dentist Steve Marsh to turn his teeth and his answer around. Martin and Steve are here today to reveal the results. So welcome to the show. Good to see you again, Steve, and welcome to the show.
Thank you.
What was it that you didn't like about your smile?
Well, the shape, the gaps in my teeth, I just wasn't happy with the overall look. So it made me self-conscious, and being in sales, it's not a good thing. I'm in front of a lot of people all the time, and I decided that it's time to do something about it.
Okay, so what made you turn to Steve to kind of turn your smile around?
Well, it's an interesting story. I was working out one Sunday morning on a treadmill, and up on the TV screen there was a show, and it talked about local businesses. Happened to be Golden Opportunities.
That's fine.
So did some research, made a call, set up an appointment with Steve for a consultation, and decided to go talk to him. So after looking at some photos and testimonials, I decided that he's the one that I'm going to go with.
Okay, so you liked him, you liked his staff?
Absolutely.
Okay. So Steve, what were we able to do to bring a smile back to his face?
Well, what Marty left out of the story was that about the same time your film festival started, around 40, Marty was playing football. He was a junior high, and he knocked out the tooth, and the orthodontist tried to close the space up, which is what sort of we had to do 40 years ago. And everything looked a little canted, didn't look great, and you knew something wasn't right. So we did a wax up, we sat down together, we talked about options, because today we have a lot of options. Here's a picture of Marty's teeth. So you can also see the color wasn't great. Marty mentioned he didn't like almost anything about it. You can see those teeth were slanted, and they had tried to move one tooth in that really wasn't a central, which is the front tooth that got knocked out. He's walked around like that for all these years, and so we told him, with a combination of whitening first to brighten the lower teeth, and then doing some crowns, veneers, and that sort of thing, we were able to accomplish that. And there's the before and after. So it's a very dramatic difference, Lori. And I've had people who've seen Marty, and Marty said, how'd they do it? So again, we had to reshape a lot of those teeth, because you saw the slants. On the lower teeth, you can see that we did a little reshaping and whitening, and on the uppers, you can actually see on the left, it says before. Those are actually with the temporaries.
Okay.
Because if you remember,
so sort
Marty's
of middle, actually.
Middle. So you saw the first, right? It should have said middle. So you saw his first picture where they were slanted, misshapen. The before actually is showing again. Those are provisionals, they're temporaries. We had Marty wear them for a while so he could get used to it. And then he gave us feedback as to what he liked, what he didn't like. And then from that, we designed the final porcelain veneers and crowns, and that's what we ended up with.
Excellent. Well, it sounds like a lot of work.
2 appointments, Lori. That's really all it took.
Seriously, that's it.
Well, once we had it planned out, and then Marty came in and took care of it.
All right. So what do you think?
Well, I was amazed that he could resurrect my smile. I loved the temporaries and was blown away when the final result came, and I just love it.
That's excellent. That's great.
Awesome.
That's what we want, right?
That's what we always want. He's a wonderful guy, and as he said, in sales, when people are going out, in all age groups, whether it's sales or dating and that sort of thing, we all want to have that beautiful presentation, and I think the smile is a big part of it. Yep. Thanks, Marty.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
All right. So are you happy with your smile? If not, model yourself after Martin and see what Steve can do to help you begin to grin again. My thanks to Marty and Steve for joining us today.
See what Dr. Stephen Marsh can do for your smile by calling 440-461-1003 or visit www.clevelandsmiles.com. Next, volunteering benefits. It's time to get up and go, an exercise segment on golden opportunities.
Hey everybody, it's Mike Carbon from Breakout Fitness. Today we're here to show you how to do an exercise band abduction. This is going to work the muscles in the outer thighs. These muscles are very important because not only do they help us get around and move, but should we stumble, those are the muscles that are going to help catch us. You ready to go?
Yeah, and this is necessary.
Absolutely. Okay, so we're going to grab the band here. We're going to stand in the center of the band with our feet together. We want to make sure we're standing nice and tall. Let our hands hang to the side, and we're simply going to open wide and take one step to the side and then bring the feet together. Okay, so one big step, bring them together. Now let's go back the other way a couple steps, switch, bring them together. Now it's important to control the movements. Okay, you want to make sure you use slow and controlled movements. Don't let your legs bang together. How you feeling?
Feels pretty good.
Good? You got stronger legs already, huh?
Yes, I do.
All right, everybody, 12 to 15 repetitions, 2 to 3 sets, and now it's your turn to get up and go.
For your copy of the exercise booklet, send $1 for postage to Golden Opportunities, 6105 Parkland Boulevard, Suite 140, Mayfield Heights, Ohio, 44124.
Can I have a volunteer? Anyone out there? If you raised your hand or if we've raised your interest, this next segment will offer opportunities for involvement. Crystal Color is here to tell us about a program that puts you in a place that is perfect for you. Crystal is the director of the Center for Brain Health at Menora Park. Welcome to the show again. Yes. So, this is through Menora Park, but we have to make sure people understand this is open to the public, right?
Yes, it's open for all adults in the community.
Okay, so if I come to you saying, I want to do something, but I don't know what that something is, how is it that you can help?
Well, we usually schedule time for us to sit down and chat. I have some tools that we might use, but really we're looking at what your interests are, what your strengths might be, and the abilities that you want to use to find a job.
Okay, so you're matchmaking, huh?
Yes, it is a little bit like matchmaking. And once we're done chatting, we have a variety of opportunities we give you. So we recommend 2 or 3 things you might want to try out. And if you're comfortable, we let you pick and see how it goes.
Okay, so what if the first match just doesn't mesh very well?
It's okay. We have a variety of different job opportunities we can try, and we use that feedback to find something that you're really going to like.
Okay, so I'm a lawyer. Does that mean you're going to steer me towards paperwork and office work and things like that?
Well, if you really like paperwork, we have something that we could do. But really, we have a wide variety of different things. So it's up to you of what you want to try. If you want to use your work background, we'll match it. But if not, we'll give you something completely new to give it a go.
Try something new altogether. So what types of volunteering are there?
We have a wide variety. Our campus has 20 different departments that came up with job opportunities. From nursing to engineering to our social work departments, everyone's involved. And they created over 50 different job descriptions.
Oh my.
So I like to think we have a plethora for you to choose from. But really, we're going to look at some of being a beauty shop attendant. We have a beauty shop in all of our buildings. We use audiovisual technicians to help with some of the technology in our campus computers that tell us what's going on day to day. And of course, if you'd like to get involved in our Center for Brain Health, we're always looking for teaching assistants for our cognitive fitness classes.
And speaking of the Center for Brain Health, what does it have to do with volunteering, really?
You know, research shows a lot of benefits from volunteering, and really it helps people maximize their strengths, the abilities they have, build their self-esteem, and let them realize they're really contributing to something positive.
So what if they have memory issues or things that, they're not fully capable of doing the volunteering necessarily?
You know, our campus is really committed to support volunteers. So at times, if it's necessary, if it's one-on-one, our staff is there to support someone, depending on the department that they're in, and we tailor the tasks and skills that they need to make them successful while they're there.
Any feedback from the volunteers that you've gotten?
So far, they seem to like it.
That's always a good thing. If you're matchmaking, we want them to like it too, right?
Very true.
So, volunteering is valuable for the volunteer and for the place where the assistance is provided. It's perfect match. You want the Center for Brain Health to match you with a great volunteer experience? Use the information that's coming up next. My thanks to Crystal Culler for volunteering to join us today.
Thank you.
Find out more by calling Menora Park's Center for Brain Health at 216-839-6685 or visit www.center4brainhealth.org. Next, scams centered on seniors.
Here at Metro Health, you know you matter when it matters most. Here, we are the city's best at preparing for the world's worst. Here, we are the only verified burn center in Ohio for adults and children. Here, you'll find exceptional clinicians with extraordinary hearts. So the work we do here at Metro Health makes an impact here, out here, and right here. Metro Health, we're here for you, for all of you.
Did you miss a phone number or website? Then here's your second chance because we're going to list all that information again. Then we'll be back to share how con artists are cashing in by scamming seniors. Sadly, financial abuse of elders is not uncommon. In fact, it seems to be running rampant in this country. Here with help with advice against abuse is my partner, Mike Solomon.
Hi, Lori.
So what does it cost seniors in this country?
Well, you know, the National Center for Elder Abuse has said over 2 million senior people are cheated every year. People 65 and over, that's the major crime against them. And around $3 billion, there's an estimate of around $3 billion are lost each year to fraud to seniors.
Wow, that's just awful.
Yeah,
so tell me about the most common scams.
Well, one of them, you get a letter, it looks official, you've already won this prize, this amount of money, or this vacation. All you have to do is send in a little bit of money to pay your taxes or to help do all the paperwork. You send the money in, of course, you never get the prize. Right. The other one, they follow up sometimes phone calls. You've already won, you need to do the following, they're very convincing. And of course, the new one, not so new anymore, is the internet. And there, you get these emails that look official, and they may be phishing for information. They may somehow get on your computer, a virus on your computer, take all sorts of information from you. Matter of fact, we recommend people sit down and get their computer protected with all sorts of security devices. As an aside, don't go on the internet and buy the security devices, because sometimes those are the scams too. Talk to somebody you know and make sure that you're getting the right service on it.
Lock down your computer.
Right.
So along the same lines with technology like that, are there some new scams? I'm assuming with all the new technology that keeps coming out.
Yes, there's this, somehow they're wirelessly able to lock onto your information from your credit card if you're at a gas station and swiping it, or at an ATM machine, or if you're on the internet charging something. Sometimes they can grab this credit card information. So I recommend people actually look at their credit cards daily. If they go online, they can see if there are any charges, to see if someone's running up a big bill because they got all your information from you.
What can we do to protect ourselves?
Well, there are a lot of things you could try to help reduce this possibility. One is you can get a free credit report annually. And there are 3 different agencies, so you can rotate those. And you can get the number on, there's a number online and a website online, so you can get that information. You can opt out of the telephone calls. There's a special telephone number, again, on the screen, 888-382-1222, or you can go online and opt out of these phone calls. You can opt out of the free credit cards that you can get, because sometimes people order cards for you, they grab it out of your mailbox, and also they have a credit card. Again, there's a telephone number for that on the screen, 888-567-8688, and plus a website if you want to go to that. And finally, importantly, report it. If there's a fraud against you, report the fraud. 3/4 of people over 55 don't report the fraud, and that makes it easier for these people to continue to do what they want. So give a call to the telephone number on the screen. Also, report any fraud that might happen to you.
Oh man, don't become a victim. Know what scams to watch out for. For more information, call Mike at the number coming up next, or pick up the newest issue of Boomer and Beyond magazine for an in-depth look. We'll be back.
Call Solomon, Steiner, and Peck at 1-888-236-5173 for more information, or to schedule a speaker for your organization. Or log on to www.ssnplaw.com.
Thanks for joining us. Watch next week. But until then, please remember to make the most of your golden opportunities.
If you'd like to join our kitchen conversation, visit our website, www.goldenopportunities.tv. Like us on Facebook. Call us at 440-742-GO-TV, or email us at kitchen@goldenopportunities.tv. We'd love to hear from you.
Golden Opportunities is paid for by Elder Productions.